Is toxic femininity real? No. Femme fatale who uses her body to manipulate men. That's just called being a bitch, man. That's not toxic femininity. Please use you ladies. I invite you. Please use your femme fatale femininity to manipulate me. It's just for fun. Mean girls who bully intrasexual competitors. Overbearing mother. Okay, overbearing mother is more of a power dynamic, so we can out. Mean girls who bully that's about intersexual competition, so it's not necessarily toxic femininity. That's just practicality, my friend. That's being efficient. So is it mean girls being mean with other girls has more to do. I mean, can you like ascribe that to a characteristic femininity? I don't think so. I think it just depends on what we define as feminine. That's really the problem right now. Is we don't know what is conventionally masculine or conventionally feminine. I need to start like compiling like a list of these things that are like, okay, these characteristics and these attributes are distinct and unique to the male experience. These are unique and distinct to the female experience. Now, what's going to say is like, well, those are social conventions. Those are social constructs, and men can be weak and vulnerable, and women can be strong and independent. Right? That was another thing I just got off. Whenever we talk about like men needing to be like men are not independent anymore. Men are not like we have too many manginas. We have too many guys who are living in their mom's basement, and they're not going out there and learning skills, and they're not going out there and enriching themselves, and they're not learning to be independent. Well, or to being strong, independent men. I'm like, well, that's funny, because when we talk about men being strong and independent, we think that they're idiots, right? We think that they're arrogant fucks, but we don't say the same thing about women. Like if a woman is still living at home in her 30s, we don't go, oh, wow, she's really a kid old. She's prolonging her adolescence. Nobody says that. We say, oh, she's focusing on her career. Oh, well, she's, in between jobs, or something else. We don't give women the amount of grief that we give men if they're in similar situations when they hit 30 some odd years old. So it's just, again, there is a separate standard of justice for men and for women, not just in our actual legal system, but just in our social legal system. We do not hold women to the same standards. So when we have when people talk about like issues of accountability, and I saw this floating around on Twitter not too long ago. Well, what does it mean by holding women accountable? Well, we could just say, how about we hold them accountable in the legal system, and they get the exact same sentences that men get, because I can show you study after study since the fucking mid 80s that women don't get the same level. They get a higher more lenient sentences in our prison system than men do for the exact same crime. We could start there, asshole. Or we could just say, hey, look, maybe everybody should sign up for selective services. So not just human beings with penises actually have to go and risk their lives in war should the event actually necessitate that men join the military. But we still afford the same rights and the same voting rights and the same representation in our political system for women when they don't have the same kind of skin in the same kind of skin in the game that guys do. We could start there with accountability. Shall I go on? Oh, okay. I'll shut up now. But like, you can't even talk about toxic femininity, because I don't think there is such a thing as femininity, toxic femininity, just like there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. Okay. So if we're going to say, like, for instance, you probably heard me say this before, there's no such thing as toxic masculinity. There's only masculinity and the parts of masculinity that align with a feminine imperative, that are complementary to the feminine experience, the feminine life experience, the existential experience, whatever it is. They're only the things in the conventionally masculine attributes that women go, they love it, right? When the floodwaters start rising and we need help in North Carolina? South Carolina? North Carolina. When we need help in North Carolina, we're not going, hey, bitches, why don't you come out here and like start like this airboat, flotilla and save these people from the rising floodwaters. We look for guys to do that. And if they don't, they're not living up to their masculine duty. And there's no comparison. There's no parallel to that for women. Why? Because that's a masculine attribute. No problem with that. Okay. So if I'm going to say there's no such thing as toxic masculinity, I also have to, by default, say there's no such thing as toxic femininity. There's only femininity and the parts of it that align or disalign with the masculine imperative, right? So if a woman can equally manipulate men with her body and tempt them and be the succubus that Dr. Jordan Peterson would like you to believe is like actual, with like wings and teeth. Man, it's Halloween, right? Or there's the same aspects that a woman can use. It's in the application. She can use that femininity to be very opportunistic. She can be a gold digger. She could manipulate men. How is it? Okay, well, what is she doing to manipulate them, right? Like women hate it when men are supposedly game. They're players, right? They're game players. He's playing a game with you, right? Well, okay. Well, if that guy can leverage his masculinity to manipulate women like the Tinder swindler did, yes, that's negative. That's something. If it's hurting someone else or it's abusing or exploiting someone else, sure, okay. But it's still part of his masculine character, and women just suck it up and they eat it up because they love it, right? Same thing with men. Like if a woman, a femme fatale, like, can you name a femme fatale right now?
No, I cannot.
Can we even like, can you give me one example of, because they don't exist anymore. Really, women don't have to be sexy anymore. They don't have to seduce men. All they do have to do is show up naked and bring beer. That's all that matters right now. And like, because men have been so desensitized to anything, like women don't have to seduce men. Men are not resistant to it, okay? Especially today, 18 to 29-year-old guys. Seduction skills, minimal for women. Seduction skills for men, huge. It's like this great big obstacle. It's like pole vaulting obstacle, right? So we've kind of switched the script. So if you're going to say, well, a femme fatale uses her body to manipulate men, okay, the possibility exists, but all you're doing is showing me an example of conventional femininity being used as a weapon, being used as leverage. It's the same thing that guys can do too. So, I mean, if they're skilled enough to do that, the reason why we focus more on guys is because women want to filter out those guys, and they love the indignation that comes from stories where a guy is trying to, like, he's got some secret life. He's got some like wife on the side over here back in Japan or something. And he comes to the United States and he has a new wife in Los Angeles. And then he goes to New York or Miami. He's got bitches in every port, right? He's got these secret families, and women love those stories because they want to figure it out. They want to know that their evolutionary female intuition, which is really a hypergamous filter, is still working. We want to feel that indignation, because when we finally figure him out, when we connect all the threads and the tack board and everything with little Polaroid pictures that nobody uses anymore, we're going to do all this like it's Prison Break or some shit like that. And it really doesn't work out that way, but women love those kinds of stories because it appeals to that need to want to know, is this guy really who he says he is?